You're listening to The Business of Glamping and Unique Holiday Rentals, Episode 1. This is where we love to talk about glamping, holiday retreats, hideaways, hobbit holes, canvas structures, and everything in between. In fact, anything in the hospitality industry that's a bit special and very unique. Today, I'm asking owners in this industry what they wish they'd known before starting their business. Glamping and unique holiday rentals are surging in popularity with the growing desire of customers to book holidays that deliver an experience. They are also the new business of choice for those wanting to improve their work-life balance. So how do you build a strong business like this that gives you the life you need and a great investment? I'm Sarah Riley, and I want to share what I've discovered after being immersed in this industry for over 20 years. To inspire you to find out more about what's going on. Welcome, this is The Business of Glamping and Unique Holiday Rentals. Hello, welcome to the first podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Riley, and I suppose as we're at the beginning, and this is number 1, it's important for me to mention why I've decided to set this up. Well, I've been working now and supporting businesses in this industry, in the glamping and unique holiday rental space for many years, and I'm often told by people that they are simply running out of time to do everything that they want to do. They want to learn, they want to take part in stuff, they want to join communities, they want to chat to people, they want to ask questions, they want to develop their businesses and make them better. But they've just got so much other stuff to do. The everyday stuff, the stuff that keeps the wheels turning. And hey, I get this. I know where you're coming from. I suffer from that too. So, no matter what type of hospitality business we're in, the rooms still need cleaning, beds still need changing, and guests still need to be looked after. Now, the best thing about a podcast, which is the reason that I've done it, is the fact it allows us to multitask. We can listen to the podcast and learn from it and take part in it while we're cooking, while we're putting the hoover around, while we're in the car traveling from place to place, or even if we have the energy, while we're at the gym. So it's a brilliant way of being able to make those times that are actually quite dull, maybe a little bit more interesting. And because we're multitasking, we're actually benefiting from doubling up on what we're doing. So that's the reason why I've decided to set up this podcast, and I hope you find it really useful. Hopefully you don't mind, but I wanted just to take an opportunity to share something with you. It led to me being here today, and it's quite a deep part of why I do what I do. I'm really, really lucky that I have come from a family of entrepreneurs who have had multiple businesses in multiple industries, in hospitality, in health and whole foods. And quite frankly, I had an amazing life, rich in experiences and learning the service industry and the trade of serving people and helping them to get what they need and they want. But I hadn't actually found my niche, my thing, my passion. And I realised that we're all motivated by different things. My family were motivated by the things that they were motivated by, and I hadn't quite found what really floated my boat until 2009, and I was motivated by a near-death experience. So this came in the form of a stroke, the kind that people die from. And in the words of my neurologist, I was very lucky. I had 2 children at the time. One was 2.5 years old and the other one was 2.5 weeks old. Can you imagine trying to take care of a 2-week-old when you couldn't even read, write, or walk properly? And I found myself learning to do all of those things again. And then the financial crash came, and with it came my redundancy from a corporate job I had at that time. I'm sure you can understand this was an incredibly worrying part of my past, and I wanted to change and I wanted things to be different, but I really didn't know where to start. I knew that I had all these skills and knowledge, but I didn't quite know how to join up all the dots. Because of my experience of jointly running a boutique hospitality business, I started to share some of my ideas with others, and I also started Inspired Camping, which is a place where I share stories, interviews, and facts, and all kinds of other things about products and services that can help people take time outside in nature to do what they love and to heal themselves from the inside out by immersing themselves in that just wonderful experience of being out under the stars, around the campfire, camping, but doing it in a way that was slightly different from the traditional way. So this is how I got started. So this was quite some years ago. I'd already been involved in hospitality and other service businesses for many years before that. I'd been involved in marketing and training, and now I was so engaged in learning about online businesses and marketing online businesses. And that's how it all came together for me to start up Inspired Courses, which is where I now share my knowledge with others to help them gain success in their unique hospitality businesses. So that, in a nutshell, is why I now do what I do and why I am now here talking on this podcast to you about glamping businesses and unique holiday rentals. And I'm so excited to be here. And there are reasons why many other people have started their businesses and have gained their success. So I have a brilliant Facebook group full of amazing business owners and people who are aspiring to start their own businesses. And I put the question out to them: what do you wish you'd known before you started your business that you might be able to share for others to help inspire them, or maybe just give them a little bit of a heads up about what's in front of them? And that's what I'm going to talk to you about now. Now, for all of these businesses, I'll make sure that I put the links into the show notes so that you can have a look at what they do and what they offer and where they are in the world. But let's get started with the good bits. Now, first of all, Heather Lister got in touch with me from Wholeness Holidays. So what she wished she'd known before she started was how much she herself wanted to stay in her yurts, but she has to wait until October at the end of the season. She also says, honestly, I didn't know what a lark it would be, but maybe that's because we only have 2 yurts, so we have it easy. We have had nothing but lovely people having a lovely time. It's so great when you hear all these stories about people who have had these businesses, they've set them up, they're providing something amazing, they've put their heart and their soul into it, and then they come away having given people a wonderful stay. Now, Lisa Wallace-Adams from Oak Tree Meadow says that I wish I'd known what hard work it is, but also how rewarding it is when your guests leave such positive reviews. And I think you sum it up there perfectly, Lisa, when you say that it is hard work, but the rewards are so great. And I think that is really, really worth mentioning, because there is so much more of a reward here than just money for the business or a successful business. It's also about the interactions with the guests and how they have such a wonderful time and the impact that you have on them when they stay with you. I mean, these are people who need a holiday when they turn up. And so to turn that around, so people stay with you, have an amazing time, and then leave feeling refreshed, reconnected, and just back together as a family, the rewards are so great. Now, Sarah Orchard from Hudnall's Hideaway in the Wye Valley said, in answer to your question on the most difficult, ultimately planning so far. It takes so long, costs more than you'd like, and can trip you up at every turn. I wish I'd known about the best time to do a bat survey, but we finally got there and just had our treehouse approved today. Congratulations, Sarah. That is a huge benchmark, as a huge moment in your business development. It's just simply crazy how planning has such a huge impact on new businesses trying to set up and on driving forward the economy. But planning is there to protect us as well. So it is difficult for a reason. And yet, this is something that so many people I speak to struggle with. Planning is one of the biggest barriers for this type of unique business because people are introducing things that have never been done before. And when there is legislation and when there are restrictions on what can be done, and we're setting new benchmarks, then that's the reason why it can be even more of a struggle. Going into the next step, which is around media and promotions. Now, Pauline Coombs from Owl Valley Camp talks about how she was really surprised that she'd have to be good at all sorts of media to run her business. Again, this is something I hear all the time, and Claire Hall also touches on this when she said, I wish I'd known just how long it takes to get a business like this going. I was not realistic at all. I also wish I'd researched the best places to advertise our shepherd's huts before we were ready to. We opened early July and I haven't got our advertising right just yet. This is something that is such a big deal because a lot of businesses put their heart and soul into the development stage of their business, into what physically they're going to have as a service or a structure or something on their land or whatever it is they're setting up. They put all their effort into that, and yet they fail to realize that they need to start working on their marketing before that, or certainly at the same time. And so it comes as a bit of a shock when they are ready to launch and they suddenly realize there's this huge gap in what they've been doing. They haven't been promoting what they're about to offer to others, so they're getting the bookings in. So it often stays empty, and that can be very disheartening for the owners. But there's also a physical and emotional impact to this type of business. So Jane Corner from Camden Yurts talks about the impact that starting and running a business would have on my family. My home looks more like a laundrette 7 months of the year, and my body physically. And then there's the social media marketing side. So again, the promotions and the marketing side of it is coming up. So many people haven't really been focusing on this as an element that is necessary to run their business. But also it goes beyond that. So Sinead Pritchard from Bell Dell talks about how much stuff you end up buying. It was literally like kitting out a house. So if you like shopping sprees, then this business is definitely for you, because actually your space has to feel like a home from home. That's one of the reasons why people like it so much, because it is an experience that is comforting, is nurturing, just wraps you up and cuddles you and makes you feel so relaxed while you're having your holiday. But be careful what you wish for, as Katrina Willis pointed out from Beautiful Bells, that the hours are so long that you never really get to switch off, that people do think it's acceptable to call you at 11 o'clock at night or 7 o'clock in the morning, and some get funny that you don't answer. That you will end up juggling a million requests on one wedding. Bride and groom want tents laid out like so, but some guests want to be further away from the music, not next to that person as they snore or have kids, or wake up too early, to be closer to toilets or to not be near the toilets, that you are constantly unpacking and repacking, that you won't get to go and do cool things in the summer because you're working or you're on call or you're driving early the next day. Basically, no social life for most of the year. That you don't get to enjoy the sun as you're sweating in it. The absolute stress of big weddings or events. That for the first year you'll spend every day with stomach-churning anxiety that you've dropped a ball and forgotten a booking, even though it's never happened and it's just your panic. Stepping over tent stuff in every single room mid-season, whether it's washing, bunting, blankets, stuff that needs fixing, or tents that need checking. And that even in the winter when all your friends think you've got the life of Riley and you do nothing, that there's still a lot to do. And actually on the days there isn't, it gets quite lonely as everyone else is at work and you can't get a part-time job in the winter because there's still so much to do. Anyway, it's probably worth mentioning that I absolutely love my job, and as I've got 20 tents to get down today, I'd best go and check the weather. Now, not every business model is the same, and Katrina's business model will be different from others, but for her situation, this is the biggest issues for her that she wished she'd known before she started her business. But it's really interesting that even though her work is so difficult and she's physically challenged, she still loves her job. She still loves it. So that just sums up so many comments from so many people where no matter how much work they need to do, they still love what they do. But some other business owners also suggested carefully considering your options at the start. Particularly think about how your business will grow and develop into the future. So Emma Cavill talks about that in her comment. She says, definitely wish we thought about a more generic name now that we also have a geodome and a safari tent. Their name is Somerset Yurts. Now, my final comment is something that really resonates with me, but also to many other comments that I've had from other business owners in the work that I do and the events that I attend. Tim Bowles from the Farm Camp talks about what I wish I'd known before starting a glamping business. I thought it would be as simple as pitching some nice tents and watching the bookings roll in. There's a lot more hard work at a computer and on site, and more practical knowledge required than expected. It's been a roller coaster, but you learn fast, and what an incredible journey. Now I'm going to be talking about this particular one in future episodes as it's a huge topic. The topic of how can you get found by your guests, making those connections, being able to get them to find you and you find them. This is one of the many struggles that businesses have in this industry. But what I do love about all of these comments is how much they love what they do and they love their businesses and they're excited about where they're going with them in the future. And they understand that you only have one life, so don't forget to enjoy the ride. You've just got to embrace it and love it and just move forwards. I really hope you enjoyed this first episode. Now there's plenty more to come. Next week I'm going to be talking about evaluating the different business opportunities available to you and helping you decide which model to choose. In the meantime, please subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode, and leave a rating and review because that will be amazing. You can also hang out with me if you want in my super supportive Glamping Business Facebook group. The welcome mat is always out. Take care.